Hey, I'm Liv and welcome back to my channel Endless Pages. Welcome to the quarter year crisis book tag. So I have been binging everyone's quarter year crisis book tag videos. I really love them. I love the questions that they ask, so I thought I would film my own one. I will of course tag the original creator in the description. So this is just, if you haven't seen, I'm sure you guys have all seen at least somebody do this tag, just like a check-in to see how you're going with your reading and your reading goals so far. So I couldn't even remember my reading goals, like not my like number, but like my other goals that I set. So I have to go back and rewatch my 2022 reading goals video to actually figure out whether I was actually achieving my goals or not so far this year. It was really interesting watching my reading goals video back and seeing what I said. So obviously I will be telling you how I am going with those goals so far. So question number 1 is, how many books have you read so far this year? So this is one question that I can happily answer. I've read 20 books so far this year, which for me is fantastic. I am currently on my 21st, so that will be, by the end of the week, I will have read 21. My goal I set at 65 books, and when I rewatched my reading goals video, I was like, this is so unrealistic. I'm not going to hit this, but I am definitely going to hit 65 books. I'm going to say that with confidence now. I might regret that. No, I'm definitely going to reach it. I, touch wood, have been on a reading roll this year. Like, I'm reading so much great stuff that I am just constantly wanting to read, and I think the fact that I've been doing so many readathons and just have that stubbornness where I don't want to fail the readathons is making me really push myself and really, I guess, find more time to read, especially time where I would usually be sitting on my phone or watching Netflix and being like, no, like, you should actually read instead. And I'm glad I've been doing that, and I've been watching so many more reading sprints, so I think that that's a really great way. I find, like, I feel like I can't read without reading sprints now. Like, I just love it. For someone like me that struggles with focus, it's a great way to say, okay, we're going to follow this timer, we're not going to touch my phone, we're just going to read. So yeah, that was a long answer to a simple question. I've read 20 books so far this year, one ahead of schedule. Question number 2, have you already found a book you think might be a 2022 favorite? I'm going to give 2 answers to this question. First, Under the Whispering Door, and then House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. These are both incredibly beautiful books. Under the Whispering Door more deals with grief and loss and death, and House in the Cerulean Sea is more about who you are as a person and your purpose and how you spend your time on Earth. This is kind of dealing with this is also dealing with like how you spent your time on Earth, but kind of coming to acceptance of that. This is more like about taking advantage of the time that you do have. I think these both were beautifully written, and I just think the dialogue in both these books was so thought-provoking and really made you kind of reflect in on yourself, and I fell in love with all the characters in both these books. I think they're so character-driven and such, I guess, so like conversation-driven, less about the plot and more about the conversations that the characters are having, but I thought they were beautifully written, both standouts, and I gave both 5 stars, obviously. Next question, we have any 1-star books / least favorite book of the year. So I don't rate books 1 star. If a book is 1 star, it will not be finished, it will be DNF'd. I haven't got time to read 1-star books. I do have an exception though. I read, which I'll move over and pop here, They'll Never Catch Us by Jessica Goodman. This is a young adult thriller. I gave this 2 stars. The reason I didn't DNF it was because I wanted to give it a chance that maybe because it's like a kind of like a girl goes missing, and I wanted to give it a chance to see if the twist at the end kind of bumped it up a star. I found this way too YA for me. It's meant to be a thriller of this girl that like goes missing in this town, and it was boring. There was no like, I don't know if this is just me, but when I read a thriller or a young adult thriller where there's a missing person, I like to be involved in the case, right? I like the characters to have a huge connection to the case, to be secretly investigating it themselves or like super involved in it. and that just wasn't the case. They did like one investigation thing at the end of the book, and that was like, you know, one chapter. I found this was really YA. The conversations were so cringy, and I just don't think teenagers talk like that. You'd think it was written by some 50-year-old white man by the way some of the lines are not, but it's not. It's written by a young woman. So I don't know, it was such a letdown. It was super boring, it was super cringy, and I don't know how this book called itself a thriller, because it was not thrilling at all. There was no thriller aspect. It was so boring. Next question is most read genre so far. I don't think this is a surprise. Fantasy, young adult fantasy. Fantasy will always be my most read genre. That will never change. So yeah, a simple answer for that question. Question number 5 is a book that surprised you. I was going to say Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, but I feel like people that watch a lot of my videos would probably already expect that answer. So instead I'm going to say Honeybee by Craig Silvey. This is a book that I thought I would not enjoy at all, but I found this book to be super eye-opening for me. It's about this kid set in like Australia who attempts to commit suicide, and he's on a bridge, and there's a elderly guy down the other end of the bridge who is also about to attempt suicide. So it's kind of about their friendship that blossoms because of that shared experience. And this was really confronting, but in a good way. Like, I feel like I learnt a lot, and yeah, I just think it was really eye-opening to read from a character's perspective going through a struggle with their identity and with their sexuality. And what I found really interesting was the implications on one's mental health, because of course if you're not in a system that's supportive, even if you are in a system that's supportive, I'm sure it is really hard to start questioning that and start figuring out your identity. And as someone who's never had to go through that, I found this really, yeah, it's kind of educational for me, and it's completely out of my reading comfort zone and something I would never normally not pick up. I only picked it up because I've read the author before, Jasper Jones, and he's Australian, so that's why I picked it up. So I'm really glad I did. It really surprised me. I rated it at 4 stars. I'm really surprised at how much I really loved it and how much this book really like affected me. But of course, please check the trigger warnings if you do read this book. There is a lot of triggering stuff in this book. So yes. Next question is books that have come out in 2022 already that you want to read but haven't yet. So I got a list for this. First we got The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea. This is by Axie O. This is one of my most anticipated reads. So I read the blurb and I was like, that sounds fascinating, and then everyone started reading it and said that it was so good. So that's made me even more pumped to read this book, because everyone's saying it's a fantastic read, plus the cover is gorgeous, so that helps. I'll just quickly read out the rest of these, otherwise we'll be here all day. We have Hotel Magniquif. This sounds fun. Then we have Daughter of the Moon Goddess, which I'm hearing mixed stuff about, but still excited. Then we have This Woven Kingdom. I do own that one. I bought it because, yeah, because of the author, and it's just been sitting there ever since. Then we have A House of Sky and Breath. I forgot to put this on my list, and then I watched Crystal from Bomb Book Reviews put this book on her list, and I was like, oh, same. So I've started it, but I have never gone back to it. Only a Monster. I kind of want to read this. I believe it's an Aussie author, so I want to read that. And then A Far Wilder Magic, which I have purchased. So it's sitting there, just waiting to be read. Second last question is one goal that you need to focus on, aka a goal that you're not doing well in. For me, I'm gonna say one of my goals I said was finishing more series and finishing some of my older series, and I have finished a couple of series. I think I finished the Aurora Cycle series. I finished... what else did I finish? Well, I continued on with the Skype series, which I haven't, like... I read Skype like years ago, so I recently read Thunderhead. I also finished the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series, which was good. But in saying that, I have started a lot of new ones, and I've noticed in my book purchasing I've been buying the starts of series rather than buying continuation of series. So I have a lot of series sitting on my shelf that I just don't have the next books sitting there because I haven't purchased them, so I'm not going to continue them on if I don't have the copies of them. Yeah, so I've started so many new series as well this year, which I shouldn't have. I've started the Farseer trilogy, I started the Poppy Ball trilogy, I started reading the Death Note series, the manga. So I've been purchasing a lot of new series rather than purchasing the rest of the other series that are still getting neglected on my shelves. And when I've been making my TBRs, I've been adding new books rather than continuing on with series. So one, I need to actually purchase the rest of these series so I actually do read them, and two, I need to actually put that on my TBR. So this is a two-step process, and I need to hurry the hell up, and I need to complete more series. I don't have like a set goal with how many series that I want to complete, but definitely more than I already have this year. So then we have one goal you've made that you're succeeding at. So I think I specifically said in my goals video that I wanted to read more adult fantasy, but I meant more adult books in general, and out of the 20 books that I've read so far this year, 7 have been adult books. I've really pushed myself out of my comfort zone reading, like I said before, Honeybee, and then I've read some classics, and I've started a couple of adult fantasy series like the Poppy War trilogy and the Farseer trilogy. So I push myself, and I am trying to purposely read more adult books, and I've started purchasing more adult books as well, which is great, and it's definitely paid off because I don't know why I was intimidated. I don't know why I was scared to read adult books, thinking that I wouldn't love them, and I'm still kind of in my YA period, but no, it's definitely paid off. I found some great adult books. Some of my favorites books this year have been adult books, so I'm really happy. Obviously there's always room for improvement, and I can continue to read more adult books, but I'm really happy with where my progress is sitting at for that goal. I also want to say something that I really think that I've been succeeding at is my posting. I have been posting so many videos this year. I don't know if I can say that I have posted at least once a week, which was my goal, but I'm pretty close to that. I have been really happy with the content that I've been putting out and the consistency of my content, except for like one last week, but we'll ignore that. Yeah, I've just been really having fun with it, and really, I guess, been not getting more serious about it, but like I've been making schedules and stuff like that to ensure that I have videos planned and sitting there ready to go up. So yeah, I'm really happy with the amount of content that I'm posting as well. Finally, we have new to you booktubers for 2022 that you recommend. So I'm going to try and keep this as short as possible because I don't want to go on listing forever. So I'm going to say Mel from A Bookish Fiend Named Mel. Mel is an Aussie booktuber. She's lovely. She is very well spoken in her videos, and I love watching her content. She's so friendly. She's been so lovely to me and had me on so many of her sprints, which has been so fun. We also have Lana from Lore and Lullabies, who is another lovely fellow Aussie booktuber who reads a lot of interesting stuff and a lot of stuff that's different from me, which I enjoy because yeah, I like watching booktubers who read different stuff from me, because then I can, you know, expand the kind of books that I could try out. And then we have Meredith from Reading with Merb, who is also another Aussie and absolutely lovely. She does these incredible themed reading vlogs where she'll read books from a certain country, and then she'll like cook a dish from that country, or she'll then watch like a TV show or a documentary about that country. I think it is such a unique and fun series that she does. And the countries that she picks are countries that, you know, countries that I wouldn't normally read from or wouldn't know a lot of books from those countries, so it's a great way to really diversify and expand your reading. So go check her out. Then we have Gem from Bookish Gems. I love her channel. She's so sweet. So she reads a lot of like horror and manga, so if you're looking for recommendations, I would highly recommend her. She definitely knows her horror and she loves her manga, and her videos are so fun. Her laugh is like infectious. She has such a great, bright, bubbly personality, and she's really fun to watch. Finally, the most recent one is Silky from the Danish Readaholic. She, again, another great, bright, bubbly personality, and I love the content that she posts. You can tell how much effort she puts into her videos. She makes fantastic content, so I would recommend her as well. So that was my quarter year crisis book tag video. I hope you enjoyed this video. I am pretty happy with where I'm sitting at so far in the year. I've had a fantastic reading year so far, and I feel like that is going to continue on. I am loving reading at the moment, and I'm glad I did this tag because it makes me realize like how many great books I've already read this year and how many great booktubers that I have discovered and interacted with. So this was fun. Let me know in the comments, how's your reading year going so far this year? What is one book that has really stuck with you? Or if you want to say how many books you've read so far this year, let me know. I would love to chat with you in the comments. As always, all of my social media is in the description below, and I will see you in whatever I post next. Bye!